Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I'm waiting for my coffee here. I need a coffee. I need to wake up. I'm trying to cut down on my caffeine, so I didn't have any. I didn't have any coffee this morning when I woke up. I'm waiting till I come here. So anyway, today's listen. We gotta. This is a pretty simple live stream today. We're just going to talk about where it is the least expensive and where it is the most expensive. Not my list, but it is a list. And where it's the least expensive and the most expensive to be an expat in 2025. And, I think some people, I don't know, I think you're going to be surprised about some of the things because Thailand's not even in the list. It's only five costly and five least costly. So, anyway, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all kinds of things today. Let me see if my internet is working on my computer, and it looks like it is. So, very good. All right. So, we're here. Now, I wanted to talk about a couple of things, man. Um, the last few videos that I've made, let's see here. I had the one that I just did now, and man, oof, I got a lot of haters. And I don't mean some of them were hating me because of just what I said, and some of them were hating the Indians. But I did the video on Friday called "The Rise of Indians in Thailand: the truth, the shocking reality." The one before that was bringing money into Thailand tax free. How you can do that? Well, you got to invest. That's the way. But the one before that was about the Thailand Post halting the U.S. Mail to the U.S. And some people have said, "Oh, well, I've sent a letter to the U.S." And let me just tell you something. My wife has sent out a couple of things right when it happened, and those things have been sent back to her. So you know, you can invest in stocks. You can get a condo. You can even use it to get a lease on your land if you have a business, a legitimate business. Thank you. You have to have a legitimate business. Nowadays, they crack down on anything that's deemed as like a shell company or something like that. And I got shit for that. Guys telling me, "Oh, it can't be for a proxy company. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about." And I go, I never said it was an illegitimate business. It doesn't have to be for a business. It could be you want to go and buy a condo. As long as you put it in your name, that's all that matters. But the only way you're going to get land is through a lease. And obviously, you can put the lease in your name, but you're going to have to be able to show that, and it has to be legitimate. Now, it depends. Is your business in your name? I don't know. Maybe the LLC can hold it and lease the land. Well, if you build a house on the land, then you own the house, but you don't own the land. You're leasing it. Now, you should be able to renew it, but it's a bit of a clusterfuck. So, but the bottom line is, if you're going to do that, it's so simple. I don't understand how people don't know this. You get a paper from the bank after you transfer your money, and it says it's being used for this purpose. And that money has to go to wherever that purpose is for, whether it's for stocks or whatever it may be. Some guy goes, "Oh, I'll just send the money in, and the next day I'll buy some stocks, and the next day then I'll just cash out, and I'll just keep the money." Yeah, you think they're that stupid? Really? Now, the one thing that is debatable is whether you can send multiple payments. Um, because sometimes they won't let you send multiple payments. Sometimes they'll put they won't issue an FET. They'll give you, I forget what it's called, but they'll give you another paper, and it kind of serves as an FET. But then when you want to repatriate the money, So let's say you transferred $100,000 here. Now you sold your house, it's 120,000. If you want, you can take all that money and send it back to the United States or wherever it came from. You're allowed to do that and you don't pay any tax. But if you're sending in partial payments, like I'm going to send $3,000 and then I'm going to send 10,000 and then I'm at 20,000, well, it gets a little more problematic. Oh God, dude, there's all kinds of prices. How would I know? I mean, really, you're asking me a stupid question. How much is the land for lease in Isan? How much is how long is a piece of string? So I'm getting all these kind of comments, and then when you put it in there with, I put the Indians up, and I was like, oh my God, some guy said, I think he's really Indian. Yeah, I look Indian, huh? And the thing is I don't always like Indians. I mean, I'll just say it right now. I'm like everybody else. But I was on the train going to I think it was Nong Khai or somewhere. Is when I took my long trip and I decided to go to Vietnam by bus from Laos. But I took the boat up the river from Thailand into Laos. So I had to get I just thought I'm going to do this as a journey. So I took the train from Bangkok to Nong Khai. On the train, there was a guy, and I was sitting, he was probably, if one row was over, 2 rows up, that's where he was sitting. And, he was 2 rows up and over. I could smell him, his BO. And he doesn't have any shoes on. He's walking around in the train. This is a French guy. He's walking around on the train with no shoes on. And then he is sitting there, and this girl comes, and she very meekly comes and she wants to sit down, and he gets up and walks away, and she's kind of like looking at him. And he comes back, and I guess she caught a whiff of him. And she's like, oh my God. Now, I don't care if they're French, American, Indian. If you stink, you stink. That's the bottom line. In Pattaya, it's around $2,000 to $3,000 a month for a parcel to build a small hotel, but not in the center. Dude, you haven't even been here, or I don't know where are you? I don't think you know what you're talking about. I think you're just making these assumptions, and maybe you heard this in one place, and you're like, oh, I can get a place for $2,000 to $3,000 a month. There are all sorts of ranges. And I don't deal in the cheapest. I deal in what is a good value. Good morning, MGTOW. Good morning, Dale. And good morning, Robert. And everybody else who's in here who has not commented yet. You can comment. It's okay. I'd appreciate it. I mean, you're in New York City and you search the listings. Okay. I understand you're searching the listings. That might just be one place. Dude, when you assume it's going to be a certain price, you better assume it's going to be 50% more. And then guess what? If it's the same price as you were quoted, or it's 20% higher, you seem to be in the right neighborhood. I don't know. I'm going to tell you this. And if you don't really know Thailand, I'll say this right now. If you don't really, really know Thailand, first of all, don't open a bar. Second of all, unless you have a Thai woman like that you really trust, not one that you met 3 weeks ago or 3 months ago, you really trust her. I would not go and build a house or a hotel or anything unless you had them to help you and you really knew somebody they were no bullshit and they weren't trying to rip you. I mean, you got to know these things. You think I'm going to let just somebody build a house for me? Well, it's this company and they're very highly reputable. Says who? So you got to make sure you know what's up. It's just like opening a bar up, or, you know, I'm going to open a restaurant up. It's going to be great. Well, I hope you know what you're doing, because, you know, most businesses fail. And now you're in a different country, even more businesses fail. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying you need to do your due diligence, and you really need to prepare properly. That's all I'm saying. And I don't mean like, oh, I'm going to read a couple of listings and I'm going to read the internet about what's going on. I mean, you really, really need to know how to do things. Like if you're going to run a bar, you got to know, I mean, you got to know some of the tricks that people use to weasel money out of you. You need to know what to look out for. You need to know, like, if you're going to build a place, what should you be asking? You know, well, I know somebody who has a smoothie place or bubble tea shop or something in the United States, and I guess he's doing really well, or he was. I don't know, but I think he is. But it's in the United States. All right, listen. Before I get started, I got something here, and I need to talk about it. Now, a lot of people ask me about the real cost of living in Thailand. They ask me about visas. They ask me about scams. They ask me about, well, how do I avoid screwing up here? How come my bank account froze my account? Or I'm going over there and I don't have a bank account. I don't know what to do. I'm going to go over on a tourist visa or a tourist exemption visa, whatever it is. They need help. So I finally put everything together in one place. It's called the Expat Survival Guide 2025, Living Smart in Thailand. And of course, it's not sugar-coated, just like me. It's not just some travel blogger. I saw a guy yesterday, I have to say. And I like this guy. I liked his video. But he's been here for 8 months. Now, he's an Asian. I don't know what he is. He's Chinese or Korean or something. He seems like a good guy. I liked his video. And he was talking about how a lot of people come and they think they know about a place and they really don't know. He seemed like he had a pretty good handle and he was pretty sharp. I think he was from New York or something. But he was talking about this. And my thing is, I saw somebody who's been here for a year and a half. I just saw this the other day. They were charging $200 for a half hour for a consultation and $300 for an hour. And I'm going, wow, that's incredible. Now, I've been here for 31 and I don't charge that. I mean, really. But what I will say is that the visa, the money, the nightlife, the women, the banking, the girls. And if you're a girl, listen, this book that I have here has a little chapter about solo travel for women. I did include that. Thank you, Teddy. It's got about healthcare, daily life, a lot of stuff that, you should know. Okay. Now, this book that I'm talking about is a PDF. It's available for instant download. It's $9.99, and hopefully it will save you a couple of thousand in mistakes. The link is in the chat, right? It's pinned in the chat at the top. And let me see here. It is also down below in the description. So if you need the book, if you want the book, well, guess what? It's there for you. And hopefully it'll save you some money. But if you're serious about Thailand, I mean, really, you're going to spend thousands to visit here, thousands to come here and live here. It's $10. It's not, well, it's $9.99, excuse me. So if you're serious, then I would go ahead and try to think about picking it up. And if you need to have a lot of questions answered, then consider emailing me at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com, and we can put together a consultation for you. All right. So let's get that out of the way. That's done now, but it's pinned at the top of the the chat, and it will be pinned there, and you will be seeing it, and I will be mentioning this. And also, how we got? Let me see how many days here. I got about 17 days until I make my big trip. And you know what? The trip's already covered. I already have everything in place. I've already paid for everything. I already have the cash set aside. I'm ready to go. Now I don't have I want to get a mask and some a snorkel and some fins, because where I'm going, I want to go diving. I want to go at least go snorkeling. And I'm going to another place that's way out there, a place that not many people visit. In fact, both places are places that not many people visit, but one place is definitely more touristy than the other. So I can't wait to go to these places. I'm going to 3 places. I can't wait to go there. And yeah, I mean, I'll be there for 8 nights. So that should be great. All right, Scott, let me get back to these questions real quick. How much of a chance are there for tourists and expats getting stuck in Bangkok if Cambodia attacks the airports? Really? That's your question? I don't think it's a very, the chances are very high. And if by chance the airport got bombed, you can always go across the border, go into Malaysia, go wherever. You're not going to go into Cambodia. I would say probably Malaysia is your best bet. And you fly out from there. Maybe the airlines will do something. I don't know. Take the money you would open a business in Thailand with some 1.5-year output, puts on a good stock, and collect a big premium up to 50% cash, and you have to sit back and collect 50%. I don't understand what that means. Take the money you would open a business. Oh, okay. Sell some what? Some 1.5-year outputs on a good stock. Okay, you're saying put it on a stock and take the premium up to 50% of the cash and sit back and collect 4% interest. Okay. I live here. Every situation when it comes to money is different depending on the area and the person you are dealing with. Yes. When it comes to money, trust no one and always get everything in writing. Definitely. And that goes for people who are building your house or your hotel or whatever. I mean, you come here and you go, okay, well, this is going to be all right. This guy seems really nice. Let me just tell you something. A little story I have. Met a guy. I was involved in boxing for 20-something years. I was involved in a team, and it was a good gig. Everything was good. I had a lot of fun. Although I saw some things I didn't really like, but I had a lot of fun. Now, I met a guy. This was on the side of my business with the boxing and everything like that. I had a good reputation. I think I still have one. If somebody mentions my name, they're not going to go, he's a piece of shit, But this guy was, I mean, if we got into a fight, I'd kill the guy. He's just a meek little guy and, very soft spoken. I mean, and he came to me several times asking me to put records in, because I used to put the boxing records in with BoxRec. And I said, okay, yeah, I'll do that for you. And then I realized this guy's giving me phony records. And I was like, what the? So I said to him, no more phony records. Don't give me any more phony records. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry. I just had to get this guy to fight. And I'm like, no, you're getting him to fight, but he might get killed because he's got a shitty record and he's a cook. And all you're doing is putting him in with some guy so the guy can beat his ass and he can make a little money if he lives. So, I trusted him. A couple times he gave me, legitimate records. And then, sure enough, he's giving me phony records again. And I said, that's it. No more. I'm not putting him in again. And he would call me up, badgering me, Put the records in for me. Put the records in for me. Can you please put this in? My guy needs to get the fight. And I'm like, no. And then I was involved in a fight in Singapore. It was the first fight in Singapore in over 50 years. And I was involved in that, putting that all together with the fighters and the matchmaking. I made all the fights and, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm in Singapore. We have the fight. It was pretty good, but, you know, it wasn't great financially. It was okay. Now, I come back and I'm doing my thing here. I'm still involved in boxing, but the show's over and we're going on to the next show. I start seeing all these fights going up in Singapore. And I go, wait a minute, what's going on? So I look at it. They're all phony fights. This guy is putting in, he's in Hong Kong and he's putting phony fights in the record books for Singaporeans so that they can have fights. And I'm like, this is unacceptable, man. This is bullshit. So I called him out on it. And he got pissed. And I didn't care. I said, I don't care if you're pissed off or not. You can be pissed off. You didn't have these fights. These fights are fake. So my point is, I had a Thai guy. He's supposedly reputable. He's very nice, very soft-spoken. He would smile at me and why me and be so courteous. And the guy in Hong Kong was supposedly an official. He was supposed to be really upstanding. And, you know, I understand that some things, you got to bend the rules a little. But he was putting in, you know, 30, 40 fights that were fake. And I was like, man, that's just too much. If it's one fight, you know, one fighter or something, and I see it, hey, that's not okay. But, you know, out of 50, it's a little hard to catch everything. So, okay, I understand. But that's my point. So when you come over here, don't think everybody's your friend, because they're not. Most people are out to get your money. Okay? So, you know, you better remember that when you come here. Now, let me see here. I'm an options trader, Scott. I know you know little to nothing about options, but it's a better game than buying actual stocks, more profitable. You have to sell options, not buy. Buying them is gambling. Okay. Be the casino, not the gambler. Scott, look up what a MacBook Pro 5.4 costs there. Oh, Jesus. Why am I going to do that? Let me see here. Let me see what I can do for you here real quick. I'm going to bet you that they don't cost less than what they cost, or they cost about the same or a little bit less than in the U.S. The thing with these dirty coffees, they don't last long because it's milk, not coffee. So you don't, like, if I have a coffee, I just sip it very slowly. $12.99. Well, let me see here. You can sell options, but if you need a large principal amount, you need to be dedicating all your time to watching the market in order to earn what would be considered a decent salary. Yeah, I don't know about options. Let me see here. It's a little slow. Nah, I'm talking leaps. You guys are talking about another subject. We're not talking about that here. What happened? Give me a minute. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. If he's doing it and he's happy with it and he's making money, then that's all that matters. And I'm not going to try to teach people through him on how to sell options and buy options and do all that shit. I don't really care. 54,000, it says, oh, well, in Vietnam, it's 44,924 baht. In Thailand, the base price is 54,900. So divide it by 32.31. And then you'll get your price. All right. So there you go. Now, well, thank you very much. I love that $2. I love the $2. I'll take whatever I can get, man. Every little bit counts. Now, let me see something here. Let's take a look at this. Number 10 on my list here, because we're going to go a little bit slow here with this. We're going to go, well, it's actually number 5 on the cheapest list. Hungary. I don't understand it. Let me see here. They don't really have anything about it, though. Let me tell you the methodology of this. Now, this particular site is using Numbio's cost of living index, which I will say has gotten it a little bit more right in the last few years. They use the average price for a one-way ticket on public transport, the average price for a liter of petrol, the average cost of basic utilities, including electric, heating, cooling, and water. Yeah, we don't have heating here. The average price of internet bills, which I was surprised to see that my internet bill is quite a bit less than everywhere else. My internet bill is about, what is it, 750 baht divided by 32. So that's a 64.11. That's about $23.50, something like that. Also, the cost of a fitness club membership, the cost of my membership is $39, which to me seems a little steep because I remember it used to be like $19. But every place that I've seen is $60, $80, something like that. All right, the price of a cinema ticket, and I remember when a cinema ticket here was $1 or $2. It's not $1 or $2 anymore, unless you go on like a Wednesday or, student day, something like that. And then the average price of a 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant. To find the proportion of monthly salary spent on the cost of living for each country, we added the cost of utilities, internet, fitness, club membership, cinema, and a meal at a mid-range restaurant to find the total overall monthly expenditure in each country taken from Numbio. Now, here's the key. We then source the average annual wage in each country from the OECD. I have a video coming up about the OECD and why I don't think that the OECD and why the WEF is not good for Thailand. Then they divided by 12 to find the average monthly salary before dividing monthly expenditures by average monthly wages to find the proportion in each country. Currencies were converted from US dollars to Great British pounds on XE, and the data was collected on April 25th, April 2025, rather. So if you're not in the OECD, they didn't even consider you, which is why they don't show Thailand. So yeah, the cheapest, the cheapest that they have, unbelievable. That's of the countries in the OECD. Hungary. If they did it and they didn't use the OECD, I need to use their formula. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to figure out what is the actual cheapest country. And I think it's something like Pakistan or Ethiopia or something like that. I don't know. But Thailand is still kind of up there. I mean, it's not real low because the prices are rising here, but it is at a respectable level. Oh my God. Number 4 is probably going to astound you. South Korea. This one's for 2/4 Korean. South Korea is the 4th cheapest country for expats. And I don't know how that's possible. I've been to Korea a couple of times, like 3 times. One time I stayed in Jeju for about 8 days. Another time I was in Seoul for like 2 days. And the other time I was in Seoul for like 3 days. And that was it. And I didn't think that Korea was that cheap. No. I'm not moving there. A lot more than Thailand. Cheapest is Mama Papa Land. I hear North Korea is nice in the summer. Oh, yeah. Well, definitely not Seoul. Just like in Thailand, Bangkok is not the cheapest place in Thailand. Now, you can find good deals. You can find better deals than out in the countryside sometimes. But most of the time, the countryside is going to be at least maybe 20%, 50% cheaper, depending on what you're getting and what the quality is and things like that. So Seoul is number 4, unbelievably so. Now, I wanted to talk more about, before I get into number 3, I wanted to talk a little more about Indians in Thailand because a lot of people hate them. I hear North has no, okay. No light, pollution at night, great for falling asleep. Oh, come on. Japan is cheap, much cheaper than it used to be on overall, but I don't think it belongs as one of the cheapest, the 5 cheapest. That's ridiculous. And even if you do it my way, which I will do that, and I'll probably put that up in a live stream or in a video. Um, it's just not going to work. I just don't think Japan's going to be one of the cheapest. It's just not going to happen. Let me see something here. I understand that. I mean, if you compare Bangkok to, say, some place in like West Virginia, well, then the place in West Virginia, you might think the place in West Virginia is going to be cheaper, but guess what? It's not. But it's close. I mean, it's not like you're living in New York and you're living in Korat. There's a big difference with that. These never last long enough. Okie dokie now. Let's move on here. Number 3. Well, let's wait a minute because number 3, there's a tie for number 3. What's today? Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. So I'm leaving in about 2.5 weeks. Very good. I cannot wait. And one of the reasons, I hate to say this, I wanted my wife to go with me. And if one of the kids or both of them could go, okay, that'd be great. But you know what? I'm going by myself. And I'm like, you know what? Now I'm really focused. I'm dialed in. So I'm like, hey, I don't care she's not going. I don't care the kids aren't going. It doesn't really matter, you know? Is the dollar worth anything in Japan now? You get a better deal than you used to, but let me just see here. No way. Fucking cat. Mostly because I have no rent or mortgage here, though. If I didn't own my own place outright in Thailand, would be much cheaper. Yeah, but you don't live here yet, correct? So you never know. Things can change quickly here. You might think, oh, wow, I'm going to a place that's going to be really cheap. Then you find out it went up 25% because that's what they do. Listen, I'm waiting for the price of milk to go above $1. Okay. Right now it's 99.75 baht. It used to be 79, maybe 89. Now, okay, that's fine. That's not all that much. Let's say you go from 89 to 99. That's about 11%. But like the meat, and I talked about this. The meat was, that's for 2 liters. The meat was 129 baht, 119 baht on sale. I don't buy this meat anymore, to be honest. Now you get two hamburgers in there, right? Pre-made hamburgers. They went up to 150 baht. So from 125 to 150, that's 20%, right? I mean, that's ridiculous. How are you going to imagine if everything went up 20% and I'm sure in the United States, it is going up 20%, or it has. In Japan, you need to spend $1,000 to $1,100 a month on average for essentials, food, utilities, transport. Add the rent, and rent can be the rent average. There's $1,400 a month. That means $2,500 a month. Okay, so you need about $3,000 a month to live there and be comfortable. You're not well off. You're okay. So Japan costs around 35% more than Thailand. In Tokyo, you need 161,000 baht a month to match 110,000 baht a month lifestyle. Bangkok is 28% cheaper than Tokyo on average, but Sapporo, for instance, can be friendly on the budget. One expat pays just $700 a month for rent, compared to $2,500 to $3,500 in California. Rents in cities like Gifu are $800, much cheaper than Tokyo. For one person, $2,500 leaves some room to save, and that's what some Tokyo residents report. They need to live and save comfortably. All gone. I'm starting to get tired of that, though. The size of the burgers, they are 120 grams each, 240 grams. Or I buy, what I do now is I get 6 burgers. They're 180 grams each. And the meat is a lot better. I get them from Bangkok Bob's. And that's 570 baht for 6 burgers. And all I do is take them out, defrost them, throw them in the air fryer, boom, they're done. Sapporo's up north and cold during 5 months of the year. Rent might be cheaper, but monthly utilities might eat most savings. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know everything about everywhere, but it sounds right to me. So I was going to say, that's something that I've been doing a lot lately. And that is I've been buying from specialty shops. I've been buying meats, not so much vegetables, sometimes vegetables, but mostly meats. I've been buying from 3 different places, from Vivin, from Bangkok Bob's, and from British Shop, which is in Pattaya. And I just think that the meat is a lot better. The cost is a little bit higher, but it's worth it. And you know what I do is like in the last beginning of the month, beginning of last, or let me think here. What is this? Oh, it's August. The beginning of this month, I bought. Oh God, I spent $150 on the meat, and then I bought a little bit more. I spent about $50 on meat again, and I'm good for the next couple of days. So at least, and I'm gonna buy a couple of steaks today probably, but these prices are crazy. You can get an IKEA home in Japan for like 30,000. The hell with paying money. I don't know, man. I'm not a Japan expert. I've been there several times, but I haven't been there now in about 10 years, 15 years. Many people fail to include education costs. One oops, and that's a long time. Hey, I didn't think about that when I had kids. When they were first born, I didn't think, oh, I'm going to have to pay for their education. Jesus Christ, we spend so much money on their education, you know, and it's like you just have to. Here, you have to. If you go, oh, I don't have a degree, they look at you and they go, okay, so what do you want to do? You want to be a barista? You want to sell makeup? You want to serve food? Now, the real go-getters go out and they figure out what to do and they make money, or they get a trade or something like that. But I'm just saying. Okay, so number 3, tied for number 3 of cheapest places from the OECD, Poland and Lithuania. I don't know what to say about that. Lithuania in the Baltic region of Europe is next. The country has the cheapest average internet bill at $15.47 per month. All right, that's cheap. It also ranks in the top 5 for public transport, $1.13 for a one-way ticket, giving it an overall score of 2.23 out of 10. Now, I want to find something out about Lithuania because the internet is cheap, but is it high quality? So we'll know that in a minute. I don't know what's going on, but my response time has been lagging lately. Yeah, I choose Poland. They don't let migrants in and ruin the country. I don't understand why people have such a problem with, oh my God, you got to let the immigrants in. No, if you let all the immigrants in and they're illegal, that's what they are. They're illegal. Illegal. You don't say undocumented. I'm sorry. I don't say that. I never have said undocumented. No. You can be a good person. You can be a wonderful person, but you're illegal. What does that mean? If I was smoking heroin in front of a police officer and it was illegal, which it is, that officer could say, I'm taking you to jail. Well, guess what? If you're an illegal immigrant, they give you money. They give you places to live. I mean, the country's all screwed up, man. And I know it's not that simplified, but still. All right, let me see here. This thing is so slow now. I don't know what the hell's going on. You need some more. Dude, I got all kinds of bandwidth. That's not the problem. It's the website. It's not here. I got plenty of bandwidth. And in my house, I have 500 megabytes per second. 500, is that what it is? 500 megabytes up, 500 megabytes down. Come on. I don't control everything. Come on. All right, now here I got a message from one guy, and he says, and this is about the Indians in Thailand. And, I'm sorry. Everybody goes, oh, they're sleeping on the beach. Listen, I would say that most people who have not been in very long, or who are tourists who come for a week or two, maybe 3 weeks on their holiday, they can't tell the difference between a Chinese person, a Thai person, a Korean. The only reason they think that they're Indian is because they got dark skin. They could be Burmese, they could be Bangladesh, they could be from Pakistan. That doesn't mean, just because they have dark skin doesn't mean that they're from there. And it's been proven that most there aren't many, if any, Indians who sleep on the beach. It's the migrants, because what happens is they pick the migrants up in mass, and then maybe they've had a full day of driving. They drop them off, and then they're like expected to go get a hotel or do whatever the hell they got to do, and no, they sleep on the beach. And then early in the morning, they get up and they go do their work, and they go back home later on. That's what happens. And right down the street from my house, I saw these shacks, and I go, what the hell is this? This is a couple of years ago. I went, what is this? And so I went up to somebody. I go, what is this here? He said, oh, we're helping build the apartments that are going up here. And I said, really? Yeah. And the guy was like Burmese. And I'm like, okay, so what? I'm not going to say anything. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's not like the shacks are right on my doorstep. They're not. So this guy says, in the past, I've seen European, Australian, and U.S. backpackers doing the cheap Charlie behaviors mentioned, and it seems some people from India are having their turn. Okay, they very they might be doing this. I don't know. But what I'd say is the majority of them are quite affluent. They're middle to upper class, and even some of them are millionaires. And the thing is, India has almost as many millionaires as Thailand has people. And they have 250 to 300 million that are middle income and can afford to go on international holidays, especially a cheap one like Thailand. So, people make these assumptions, and I don't side either way. I'm just telling you what the facts are. I'm telling you what I've read and what I've verified. I'm not like sticking up for all the Indians. I mean, I'll tell you this. When I went, I talked about this, where I went by train, and I took a third class train. This is probably 10 years ago. I took a third class train from Bangkok into Malaysia, from Malaysia into Singapore. Then I was in Singapore. I wanted to stay there like 4 nights. I did everything on the cheap. I wanted to see how cheap I could do it. And I stayed in a hostel in Singapore. Now, there was an Indian guy. He was the only guy in my room. There was like 8 bunk beds, and he was the only other guy. Now, he's there. I walk in, and, hey, how you doing, buddy? All right, And I'm thinking to myself, oh, he's Indian. But you know what? He didn't reek a BO. He was a nice guy. He spoke good English. He said to me, if you ever come to India, hit me up. I said, okay. Not all Indians are bad. And this is all I want to say is, I see who I saw for cheaper prices. Well, wait a minute. Don't Westerners haggle for cheaper prices? Don't they do that too? And poor hygiene. I could make the same case for some Westerners. They got piss poor hygiene. Now, on the whole, I would say a Westerner's hygiene is probably a little better than an Indian's. The average Indian. I don't know, but that's what I'm going to say. And you may say hygiene, but maybe it's because they're eating curry all the time. I don't know. The Indians are a drag. The reality of India is the average salary there is less than China. Okay, but that doesn't mean that there aren't people there who have money, just like what people think about here in Thailand. Here in Thailand, People got money. People got Mercedes Benzes. They got Ferraris. They got Rollses. People have money here. Don't be fooled. Now, the average person, just like in America, they're not making big money. Simple as that. I mean, if you look, why are all these people serving food, serving coffee? Why are they doing this? Because they need a job. So maybe they're earning 15, 20,000 a month. Maybe some places are making more money because they're getting a commission or because they're selling stuff and it's their business. I don't know. So he goes on to say, many of the budget travelers from there can still afford to visit Thailand for a few nights, cheap flight, $200, share a hotel room, bargain for everything, which in itself isn't a problem, okay? But when Indians come, they tend to flood a place and not be considerate of the locals. Now, not being considerate of the locals, that's a different story. I understand. If they're not considerate of the locals, that's not good. They need to be considerate of the locals. But I have seen some of them very, very considerate. They might be a little pushy, but they want to get what they want to get. I understand that. That's how it is. Unlike Westerners or some other tourist groups, Indians will move to an area and take it over. Given half a chance, it becomes self-serving. Well, isn't that what they did in Pattaya? And guess what? They're so poor that they come here and they start opening up bars. And they start opening up discos. And they have in Pattaya now. That's how poor they are. So you need to use your brain. To the guy, because he was saying no matter what propaganda you want to indulge in. Like I said, 300 million middle class that have a substantial amount of money who can easily travel to Thailand for a holiday. And then you have the elite, the really wealthy, affluent Indians who have a substantial amount of money and they don't care. They'll rent the whole hotel out. They'll pay for a wedding that's $250,000 and they won't. It's a drop in the bucket. And people don't know this and they don't understand this. All they think is, oh, that's stinky Indians. You know, it's just not like that. This guy says the only problems I've had or seen in Thailand have been by the English. I don't know if that's true either, but I was just in Randoms in Nana Plaza a few days ago and saw 5 Indians guy come in. Only 2 of the 5 ordered a beer, where the other 3 just watched the girls dance on stage. They didn't share the beer. They didn't stay long, tabbed out after 15 minutes. Okay, so what's wrong with that? Here's a guy right here. I'm an Indian married to a girl from wealthy textile manufacturing Chinese Thai family, 40 years in business. If you know Thailand, you may know how unusual this is. I have brought in millions of baht into Thailand in the last 10 years of traveling here, up to our marriage, which took place in 2022, and a few million more during the wedding. I have spent well over $1 million US on our house here. The point being, there are 1.4 billion in India. That's almost 4 times the US population. Third largest by population. There are many people who are just starting to earn money here in India, and Thailand is a cheap and easy destination because our passport is not strong to travel to any country on a whim. Also, having a good experience of wealthy society in India. Many real wealthy people from India don't come to Thailand to visit cheap bars. They visit their private villas in Phuket, Koh Samui, and to go check out their hotel or other businesses here in Thailand. Now, I know people hate to hear that. They think that they're all a bunch of scumbags. And, I understand there are scumbags. Okay? I'm not saying they're not. Some of them are. They bug me. Just like the Pakistani peanut guys or the Indian peanut guys bug me. They bug me sometimes. But okay, what are you going to do? Really. Don't hang out in the Indian area. It's pretty simple. Hopefully it brings more Indian restaurants. I enjoy the food. India is the new China. India has awakened India. Has heaps of rupees. I think Indians are allergic to water in my neck of the woods. Well, Indians are known for haggling, even if they joke about it. Never been there, but isn't it cultural? Yes, they don't all stink, but the very few that do stink very much. That's true. I mean, but like I said, I'm on the train, and there's a French guy, which I mean, some French guys stink. They just don't understand that they're not supposed to take a shower once a week. It's disgusting to me. You know, maybe they have sex with their girl a couple times, you know, and they haven't showered, and it's 5 days later. It's just nasty. The ones around here that run gas stations love burning incense. Nag Champa. Okay, whatever. I know. Okay, I just know. Was there a dropped rifle nearby? Oh, that's funny. All right, guess what? We're about midway through. We're about midway through the stream. Now, do me a favor. Hit the like button. You got to do that. And what else do you have to do? You have to subscribe. That would be good if you do that. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. Well, their internet in where is it? In Lithuania is not really all that fast. It's about 100 megabytes a second. So it's far slower than here in Thailand. It's a very good internet infrastructure, and the speed is actually pretty high in Europe, which is astounding since I have 500 and 500 here. Let's see here. What was I reading here? Will Thailand hold new elections soon? Well, you know who supposedly is touted to be the new prime minister, don't you? Anutin. All right, I'll get to that in a second. Like I said, hit the like button if you haven't done that already. Subscribe if you haven't done that already. Hit the notification bell. I'd appreciate that. Oh man, that'll help you to get updates on when the next video and stream will be coming. I'm not going to be streaming for a while now, maybe about 2 weeks. But before I leave, I'll do a stream, and then when I'm gone, I'll do at least 2 streams. So, now the other thing which I talked about this morning, and I'm not going to stop talking about it, is there's always a percentage of people who come to Thailand and they end up getting burned, or they end up spending so much more money than they expected, or they think, oh, Thailand's not cheap. They spend money on their visa, their money transfers, their banking, everything they get into, nightlife, scams, bar girl, whatever they touch, they pay more money than they should because they just don't know what's going on. And there are many things that I've seen in my time here, 30 plus years. And that is why I put together my book, The Expat Survival Guide, Living Smart in Thailand. It's a PDF. You can download it instantly. $9.99. It lays out the no BS truth. And, there's stuff in there that could save you quite a bit of money. The link's in the description. It's in the chat. So there's no reason for you not to click on it. If you need a consultation, just email me at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. All right, let's go on now. Got that little commercial. What is going on here? Why is it so slow? I don't know. It was great in Alaska. Didn't even have fiber available yet. It was that outdated system. I can't remember the name, but still fast. But they put in fiber as I left. Yeah, I got fiber. That's what they've already transitioned into that. I have real good internet speed out here in the sticks where I live. When I run speed tests, it tells me I'm faster than like 90% of the other people in the US. Or they get the clap. Okay. The next elections are supposed to be held on the 28th of June, 2027. There is a possible of an early election in 2026. I don't know who's going to be the temporary prime minister, but who knows? It could be Anutin. And God, when he starts sounding like a really good choice, I'm a little bit scared because things have changed in Thailand quite a bit under this regime, and I'm just wondering if they're going to keep with that, keep under that modus operandus. So yeah. Well, my internet is 747 baht. Well, he's supposed to be good for ganja, although he swears he said that he only wanted medicinal marijuana, which I kind of doubt. But to me, he doesn't sound half bad compared to who they might put in, which I don't really know. I don't know a lot really about politics, and I try to keep my nose out of Thai politics, but I just like to know what's going on. Well, yeah, they're supposed to have one at the beginning. Um, if you want to be surprised, type Indian origin CEOs in the US and beyond. YouTube, Google, Microsoft, all run by Indians. Well, listen, I rest my case. And this is the thing. You got some guy going, well, I think Scott is Indian. He loves all Indians. I don't love him. I don't hate him, just like everybody else. I mean, if you're a good looking Swedish girl or some Latvian chick who's like gorgeous, well, of course I like you. Until you talk and then we start getting to know each other, and then it's like, I don't know if I like this chick so much. She's woke. You know. What happens? This is so crazy. Good day, mate. Can you buy a car without the proper visa? That is, you mean you have like a tourist exempt? You have an exempt, a visa exempt, or you have a tourist visa? Is that what you mean? You can buy a car on a tourist exempt and a tourist visa, or visa exemption rather. You don't have to have a bank account, um, but you do have to have a residency certificate and a TM30, a registered TM30. Yeah, I know. He has like, last I looked, it was like 247 or something. Yeah, you can do it. They just want your money, man. What the fuck is going on with this thing here? Really bothered me. So yeah, you can. Nothing will change until the Thai military loses many of the 250 seats in government. Hey, you know what? Like I always say, I just said something to my wife about this morning. I said, it would be nice if you could retire in the next 2 years. You need to start stashing a lot more money. And, I don't know what to tell you. You know, I'm like, you need to stash as much as you can if you want us to retire. I'm retired. If you want to retire and we want to go somewhere, like live there for like 3 months out of the year, I'm like, that's what you got to do. But you're going to have to figure that out because I can't do it for you. Yeah, I don't want the Shinawats. There's no way. They've just, to me, they're too involved. Even with her in power, and then you got, you know damn well, she's, you know, talking to daddy and he's giving her advice and telling her what to do. It's ridiculous, man. Come on. I didn't like you at first. Oh, thank you. But I now find you strangely likable. Now I watch all your live streams. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, and I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to be feared either. I'm not here to be liked, though. People like me, that's great. If they don't like me, oh well. Thailand was a retirement destination until 2013, 14, red, yellow issues. Listen, I've been here since 1990, really since 1994. And it's been a retirement destination for me since then. Even in 2013, 2014, I haven't had any problems. Even when I was working in the media and I was with the press and I went around and there were tanks on the street, the Thai soldiers used to just go, "You media?" Yeah, I showed them my pass. Okay, media. Oh, okay. How you doing? Oh, where you from? You know, they were all friendly. They didn't want to do anything to me. So I had a good time. You know, I had a good time there. And I went to something at, I think it was at like across from Siam Square. They had a big protest, huge protest. I mean, like thousands and thousands of people. And I went there and I got right in the front and I was taking all kinds of photos and I got just tons of photos from there. And, you know, I was like, nobody bothered me, you know. Well, I do have an idea how some of them speak. Every once in a while you run into some who've, you know, they've studied abroad or they've lived abroad or something like that. And they're much more well-spoken than the average Thai. My wife does not speak like, you know, I don't know about you, me. Hey, we go quickly. Oh, okay, quickly, quickly. You know, she don't talk like that. I talk to her just like I'm talking to you right now. And okay, I'm grateful for that because I can't do that pigeon shit, pigeon talk. Well, I don't have many interactions with the taxi mafia, man. If they start trying to pressure me, I'm like, I'm out. See you later. Bye. I don't care where I am. I'll be in. Listen, I was in the middle of Phuket once, and I got some ride from a guy. He quoted me some outrageous price. I just opened the door, got out. I started walking on the. It was like the, you know, you're going up to where before you go up the mountain and then go back down into like Patong. And I just got out, and I went, no way. Well, that's one reason I don't go to Samui. I mean, I've been there and I like it. It's nice. But I don't want to have to deal with the bullshit when you're getting around. If I was going to go there, I'd make sure I brought my motorbike. I'd get a motorbike and I'd be like, okay, I'm riding my own motorbike here. Well, now it's all computerized, digitized, you know. All right, number one on this list. Where is it? Number one on the list is Mexico. Mexico is the cheapest. My God. Mexico is the least expensive country in terms of cost of living with an overall score of 0.67 out of 10. The North American nation has the cheapest average utility bills and cheapest gym membership. Utility bills, 61.24. That's cheaper than here for me. And 33.52 for a gym membership, which is cheaper than here. Although, if you're an American, they want you to have something like $2,500 a month shown as your income. So that's why a lot of the cheapskates, the little $1,000, you know, I got $800, I want to go there. That's why they don't go to Mexico. All right, so those are the cheapest places. Now we're going to talk about the most expensive places. Well, let me see something here. Right now, Pumtam Wichayatai, Pumtam Wichayatai, God damn it, God damn, Pumtam Wichayachai is currently Thailand's official acting PM. He is not the permanent replacement. Political jockeying continues to intensify, and Anutin Chanwirakun is one of the potential contenders. So who knows what's going to happen, but supposedly they're going to vote on this and we'll figure it out. I have a private driver when I visit Thailand, Bangkok and Isan. Best money I spent on trips. I almost relocated to Mexico for work until I found out Taco Bell was not the Mexican phone company. It is nice to have a driver. I will say that because I've been some places where I had a driver, and I've had a driver in Thailand on occasion, not all the time. And it was very, very nice. I mean, I had a driver when we went to with my mother to Chatuchak, and it was like, man, that place was so crowded because it was before COVID. It was so crowded. We went out and man, there were just taxis all lined up, and all of them are jockeying, trying to say, "Oh, come on, you come with me, you come with me." Ah! And all of a sudden, our van pulls up. They open the door for us. We just step right in, boom, piece of cake. And we did that all the time. Yeah, but Georgia's, I don't think, is in the OECD. And Thailand is not in the OECD. Yeah, that's how it works, Shane. You know, you're living in an expensive place and you're going, holy shit, I didn't know that. You know, I buy a piece of cake here in Australia, it's $10. I buy it in Thailand, it's $2. You know. Well, it's not that I try to be that way. It's just I just am honest. I don't generally lie about things, and I call it as I see it. And I may be wrong every once in a while, not very often, but sometimes I'm wrong, and that's just the way that it is. And you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. But you know, obviously, this list is a bit skewed because it's the OECD. Um, and that you know that leaves out just a ton of. I mean, you got Vietnam, just in Southeast Asia. You got Vietnam, Philippines, uh, Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia. All those places are probably cheaper than they're cheaper than most of the places on this list. I don't try to tell the truth. I just don't lie. Exactly. Where are you from in the States? I'm from Florida, but I grew up when I was young in New York, and I lived in Florida after that for until I was 17. I don't know. That's the thing. To me, and maybe it's just because it's in the OECD. Now, let me start out with this most expensive list, which number 5 is the Netherlands. So I'm going to assume that the most expensive places are what they are because they should be, and that a lot of the other places that are not in the OECD are not that expensive because the OECD and the WEF generally cater to the wealthier, more affluent countries. So number 5 is well, having a goal and actually doing it is something different. If they can do it, great. More power to them. Netherlands is number 5. Okay, and I will tell you that Portugal is not one of the most expensive places. What, are you kidding me? I've been to Portugal, and I was in Lisbon, and while Lisbon was quite expensive, it wasn't that expensive, really. I mean, listen, I always say this, I got a double espresso for $1.50, and I'm like, I can live here. This is great. Get a good deal. Today, a church was having a benefit plate sale, a chicken quarter, sausage link, 2 white bread beans, Mexican rice, pickle, and $10. I don't know. Is that a deal? Lisbon was nice. I like Lisbon. And we went and we did a lot of fun things in Lisbon, man. I mean, on the first night, we're like, oh, we're so starved. We got to go get something to eat. And we're just walking around and we hear some music and we just go, I think I'll go here. Where is it? And we're looking and we go, oh, we have to go down this staircase. We go down the staircase, and down in the basement is this restaurant. And it's kind of dark. And they're like serving food, and people are eating clams and, all kinds of fish and, good food. And they're singing. I haven't been, but my wife has been there and she loved it. If she could go there and work, we're on the plane, baby. We're moving. But I don't think she can. I think she's too valuable here, and they want her to be here because she's got relation. When you're dealing with hotels and stuff like that, and you're trying to make deals, I'm talking about a lot of high dollar deals. The relationships you build with the people who are the owners and the managers and who have the ability to make decisions is very important. So if she went over there, she has to start all over again. She doesn't know the language. I mean, she knows how to say hola and stuff like that, but that's about it. It would be tough. Well, that's the problem. They can't replace her for the relationships. So it is what it is. Whatever. I'm okay. I'm okay one way or the other. I'm not in America. I'm doing good. I feel really good. But supposedly in some of the smaller cities in Portugal, it's a lot cheaper. But I don't see it being cheaper than Thailand. But then I was talking to my friend in Ecuador, and we were talking about the prices in Ecuador, and they're still very good. But the only thing I think about in Ecuador is that when you go outside of his small little city, when you go into some of the other neighborhoods, it's not really that safe in some areas, and that counts for a lot. Not saying I wouldn't live there, but I'm saying I would consider that before I was to leave. All right, so what did I say? Number 5 was Netherlands. Number 4, Denmark. Now, you're going to tell me Denmark doesn't belong up there? Come on. Denmark is fairly expensive. Well, you're going to have to drive about an hour to get to where you want to go, although they do have little clinics. But you're going to have to, you're going to have to travel a little bit. And if you want to get something like, a procedure done, you might have to go to Quito or somewhere else. You know, well, you're saying extortion. Most people are not getting extorted. If you're in a position where you might get extorted, well, then, you might get extorted. But guess what? You might get extorted in Thailand. You might get extorted in Cambodia. Let me tell you something. In Cambodia, the corruption is far worse there than it is here. And people don't consider that. They just think, I can get my visa really easy. So, it is what it is. Yeah, a lot of people get extorted in the United States. Life on a Thai farm. Definitely. It is how you choose to live. I'm doing a video now, putting it together, and I had I had 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours of footage, and now I'm down to about an hour and a half, and it's our farm in the south. Um, so hopefully that'll be good. Let's see here. Okay, number 3, Norway. Norway rounds out the top 3. The Scandinavian nation ranks in the top third for most of the factors we've looked at. However, it is the third highest public. It has the third highest public transportation cost at $3.99 for a one-way ticket. The country also ranks in the top 5 for the price of a restaurant meal. Holy shit! $95.02. And an average monthly internet cost around $58.82. I can get around the internet cost, but $95 when you go out for the price of a meal, even in the Netherlands. We went out to a Mexican restaurant in the Netherlands. It was $100 for my wife and I and our kids. And we only got a meal, and I think we got one appetizer and we got drinks. So we got a meal, our drinks, and one appetizer, and it was $100. So, it wasn't exactly cheap. I live in the Midwest, small house at an acre, $120 property tax. I can't complain. If you move to Thailand and don't partake in nightlife every week, you'll spend 30,000 baht less a month. Well, listen, I don't do that anymore. I mean, I used to go out, and I used to what happened was I used to go out and be like a maniac for years. And every day, every night, it was how many girls can I pull, how much fun can I have, how much beer can I drink, how much tequila can I drink. And then I kind of cooled off just because I was like, I can't keep this pace up. And then I met my wife, and I still was going out, and I was going out, and after a while she goes, when she was pregnant and she had Alex, she was like, you're going out to the bar. Why are you going there? You don't really drink. Because I had kind of stopped. You don't really drink. What are you going there for? You going there for women? Because I don't want to be involved in that. I don't want to have a husband who's out running around all the time. And I thought about it, and I went, she's right. And now, then what I would do is every once in a while someone would come into town, and I would take them out somewhere. Now I don't take them out to bars because I just go, I don't go to bars. I don't need to go. I don't care. Mexico invaded Ecuador, if you know what I mean. Gangs. Well, I didn't see any gangs when I was there. So for my anecdotal evidence, I was in a very peaceful neighborhood. It really should be how to get passports or retirement visas for these countries. Well, it's very easy to get if you got money, you're going to get the passport. Or at least a retirement visa. You'll get that stuff. It's very easy, just like in Thailand. Thailand is easy, man. It's not difficult. Show the money. That's all you got to show me the money. That's all you got to do. I rent out 7 of my properties, so it's worth the property taxes. Nice. The maniac years, the good life. I don't drink alcohol, smoke, party, or monger. Neither do I. Never took me to any bar. No, I don't have Thai citizenship. And mainly because you need to be working here, paying tax into the system. And I had a correspondent visa. Well, it was a media visa, but I was a correspondent for an American company, and so I didn't have to pay tax here. So I didn't qualify for permanent residency. And then now, when you're on a retirement visa, you can't do it. It's not possible. Yeah, well, they keep mentioning it, but they don't do anything. Okay, I'm not going to hold my breath for Vietnam. you know, and I mean, quite honestly, I don't know if, I mean, you know, they got some great stuff and it's a great place to visit, but I don't know that I would live there. It's 100 per nationality. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on Vietnam, and quite frankly, I don't really care. All right, number 2 on the list of most expensive places, Iceland, which was obviously mentioned before. It takes second place of 4 of the factors we examined. The Nordic nation has the most expensive transportation, $5.01 for a one-way ticket. Petrol costs $2.44 per liter. It also has the most costly monthly internet bills, $80.36, and eating out costs $136.95 on average for 2 people. However, it has some of the cheapest utility bills on the list, 85.50, $85.50 on average. So my utility bill is more than theirs. My utility bill here in Thailand is more expensive than in Iceland. Now, where's the utility bill here in this one? It doesn't tell you. That's crazy. All right, they're getting ready to open up now. I think, what time is it now? Yeah, they'll be open in a minute. Yeah, for that price, I wouldn't eat out. I mean, it'd have to be a special occasion to eat out. No, the dancing girl is not here right now. There's this one who's the redhead, and there's another one who's got short hair, and she's very nice most of the time. She's a little moody, but she's she's kind of young, but she's nice. They're all nice. I mean, you know, they're all pleasant. They don't snap at me or anything. They always bring me my stuff. They're always very, you know, cordial. Yeah. Well, so that's number 2, Iceland. Oh, they're called because I'm here. Yeah. Well, you know, I'll tell you what. You know, a lot of guys are like nervous when they talk to women. You know, they're shy, or you know, I'm just none of those things. And it's not because I'm the man, you know, or I got good game, and it has nothing to do with that. It's like, especially now, but really in the past 25 years, I've always been just like, listen, if they don't like me, oh well, I just go up to them, hey, how you doing? Whatever, talk to them a little bit. If they don't want to talk to me and they go, okay, I just walk away and I go, okay, oh well, big deal. What does it matter to me? Some chick who's working as a barista, or you know, in the grocery store, doesn't want to talk to me. Okay, go ahead, go back to work. That's all right. Doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. And that's the thing. I mean, listen, I see some really, really good looking women. It doesn't happen all the time, but I've seen some extremely attractive women. And I just thought, well, I just want to talk to this one. And I just go and start talking to them for whatever reason. But I'm not thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to pull her number and I want to bang her. You know, now, if I was single, maybe I would, but I don't want to do that. You know, so I'm like, it doesn't matter to me. You know, once you use them for that little furry triangle, what else do you need them for? I mean, really. A companion? Well, I have a companion. I don't need to. I I have my companion. I have a friend. I have my a wife. I have the mother to my children. I have somebody that I've been with for a long time. So what do I need that for? That's kind of how I look at it. It's no big deal. So generally, I'm pretty calm. I don't really, because I just don't give a fuck. You know. All right. So where were we? Number two. All right. Who can guess what number one is? Who can tell me that? What is number one? I still think about that woman we saw. I knew you were going to mention that. Yeah, she was a good-looking woman. She was a good-looking woman. Oh, wow. Who thinks Vietnam is the most expensive place? Dude, I know you're joking. It is Switzerland. Switzerland has the highest cost of living, scoring 9. And my wife this morning, no, last night, sorry. She's sitting there talking to Alex. They're having an unusual, because usually Alex is, I gotta go. I'm going to the gym, or I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. I don't want. I got stuff to do. But he sat down with her and he was talking about something. Eventually, the subject came to traveling, and she said to him, "I really want to go to Switzerland. It's so beautiful." And I go, "Yeah, you want to go to Switzerland? Be prepared to spend a shitload of money." She's like, "I'll just go there for a couple of days." And I'm like, "It won't be worth it. If you're going to go there, you might as well go and do it right." Switzerland has the highest cost of living, scoring 9.29 out of 10. The son of a bitch. No. You don't hear me? There I am right now. Funny. I'm showing now. I guess I'm back. Imagine that. I don't know what happened, but did you guys hear me the whole time? I was talking. Wow, that sucks. I'm talking to myself. All right, listen. I got to check this out, because if I used all the bandwidth up, then I got to get some more bandwidth, which usually I got a postpaid account. And last month I had to do it too. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I need to find out why I'm using so much. But on my computer, I use the Wi-Fi, and on my phone, I use the bandwidth, the 5G. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, number one was Switzerland, in case you don't remember. And that doesn't surprise me. No. Yeah, Dansak, Raja Pier, they're all at Dansak. Yeah, you go to Dansak Pier, then you can take a ferry to Naton Pier in Samui. There must have been some problem with the internet. I don't know. I have no idea what was going on. Um, you know, that's a bit strange. Every day, this chick walks by like in her pajamas. Um, yeah, I don't know what happened. It seemed like something just popped and released. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I ran out of the internet time, and then it switched to the next mode, because I do get lower speed. I don't have to pay for more internet. It just doesn't give me as fast internet, and I use 60 gigs, which is a lot. I want to know why, but okay, whatever. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you very much. I didn't get shut out other than I got $2 from Robert. So now I made a little bit today. No, I have not. And I didn't even put Julio Cesar Chavez on the list. And I think Chavez is a better fighter than Salvador Sanchez. Hate to tell you that. I mean, he had 89 fights without a loss. And another, like, I forget what it was. He had where he had one loss. But so he had 89 fights, no loss. Who said there was no Wi-Fi? I just said I connect my computer to the Wi-Fi. I connect my phone to the 4G, 5G. So, you know, there's a lot of people. I'm sorry. Salvador Sanchez was a great fighter, but he wasn't the greatest. He wasn't the very best. No, he was great. And Camacho, Jesus, he belongs maybe in the top 100. When Camacho started, when he was young, I used to watch him on CBS fight. He was fantastic. But he didn't get full of himself and start thinking that he didn't have to fight, or his fighting was secondary. When he got older, he thought his fighting was secondary, and his showmanship was first. And that's when he started on the decline. So, he's a great fighter, but he's not there. Thank you very much, Raymond. Choti, give him a thumbs up there. It's great you can give him a thumbs up in this thing here. Appreciate it. Oh, God damn it. Listen, I'm a nightclub owner in Pattaya. I can tell you, they have no money to spend. They come with 20 people and order 3 beers and toss them around. They have no money. As for Thai women, they say they stink, don't want to pay for the woman. It's a disaster. Really? What bar do you own, buddy? Let me see something. And then I have another guy, and he just writes, "You have nailed it. I am an Indian owner of 2 luxurious condos in Pattaya and visit for 1 week every month. Thailand knows it, but Farang, particularly less intellectual and less knowledgeable with racial mindset, have a negative impression. Always have a negative impression." So, yeah. So there you go. People are going to say what they want to say. All right, so we're getting to the end of the stream here. Imagine that. At least the stream is working again now. There was some problem. I don't know what it was. How do I know? Nobody's telling me. The thing is that the Indians do not only go to Pattaya, they go all over Thailand. And that's something that a lot of people just overlook. The ones that are in Pattaya, they might be the lower class ones. They might be some of the stinky ones. They may be some of the ones who don't spend. I don't know. But from what I've seen, first of all, they don't bother me much. So that's one thing. I don't know what's going on here. All I know, there was some kind of a renovation done about 10 years ago or something that I heard of. Missed the heavyweights. Those guys. Okay, Ali was a heavyweight. Foreman was a heavyweight. Holy was an heavyweight. But there was a lot of great heavyweights through the years. With a huge population, it's common sense there's a portion that have some serious money. Listen, they have a number that is close to the size of the population of the United States that have plenty of money that can travel. That's it. That's the bottom line. Imagine everybody in the United States can travel whenever they want. That's what they have. I know the person from Beautiful Boxer. You know. I'm really filling out. Okay, dude. What? Don't worry about how I look. Don't worry about um, what I'm wearing. Don't worry about me and how I am. Worry about the topic and worry about everything else. That's all I care about. How much a month do you spend on transportation? Depends, but 100 to 200 a month. It really depends. If I want to go out and go all kinds of places, I might spend 200. I might spend more, but usually it's between 100 and 150, and maybe I'll go up to a 200, 250. But that doesn't happen very often nowadays. I was back and forth between Bangkok and Pattaya very recently and didn't see any unusually large group of Indians. Listen, I think a lot of people, they just want to slam the Indians. I wouldn't drive in Bangkok. I wouldn't drive in Bangkok. Oh, this guy. Oh, God. I got another question from Ben. Why did you say that if your wife could work in Spain, you'd be out? Are you looking to leave? Do I not make myself clear? If she said I can go work in Spain, they're going to pay me a salary where I'm going to work there just like I work in Thailand. I'm out. Now, maybe our kids would go with us. I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. That's kind of up to them and up to her. To me, I say they do whatever they want. They're old enough, you know. So, yeah, I'm out, baby. I've been here. Listen, I've been here a long time. I don't mind saying I'm going to go somewhere for a while and live. You know, I know exactly where a company is from. I know that's where they're from. They're a British Spanish company, and she's been there before. Simple. Why wouldn't I go there? They're going to pay her good money to be there. Well, then of course I'm going. Well, she ain't going alone. She's not going there alone for like, a year contract or a 3-year contract. That's not going to happen. I take an Indian tourist and an Israeli. Indians have the largest diaspora population in the world. He doesn't know where it comes from. Oh, what always surprised me about the Thais that speak poorly of Indian is they're Buddhist and the Buddha was an Indian. Got it. Why does she have to work, though? Why don't you guys just retire there if you want? Oh, my God, dude. You ask so many fucking questions, and to me, they're kind of asinine. I hate to say that. What does that matter? I have a degree. I went to university, all right? I'll say that. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know any more about me. If you ask another personal question, I'm going to ban you because I just don't like you asking all these stupid questions. Um, why does she have to work? Because she makes damn good money and she's in the prime of her life and her earning power. As you get older, you will earn less generally, unless you have plenty of money socked away. So that's why she's doing what she's doing. So she can put money away for her retirement, for our retirement. She has a degree. Yes, of course. Don't blame you want to leave for a while. She has a degree. She's smart. Who doesn't like to mix it up living? Well, that's what I'm saying there, Ben. You keep saying, oh, why don't you just retire? Well, because I don't think that we have the money to retire at a different level than what we are now. Because I don't want to retire at the same level we are now. I want to live a little bit better so that I know when the cost of living starts rising, we're still going to be okay. And we got kids here, and one of them is still in university. So there's a lot of reasons. I've had enough of that guy. He just asks too many personal questions, man. How do you handle your celebrity? I don't know. What celebrity? Their kids are still young. One is still in college. They don't want to leave. It's not really that we don't want to leave. It's we want to leave and know that everything is right. Now, we did talk about opening a Thai restaurant in Ayampe, and I just went, you know what? I know there's a lot of factors that we're not considering, and I think it would be very difficult. I understand, Ben. I know that. Was just wondering if you wanted to go. You just don't. You, if you wanted to go, you don't just go. Life is short. There are people living in Spain off Social Security. I am assuming if they had the financial means. Because if I go to Spain, I don't want to live off of what I'm living off of now between me and my wife. I don't want to go there and go, God, I have to worry about money. I'm spending $4,000 a month, and I don't know, in 5 years, am I going to still have money? I mean, I don't want to have to worry about that. So there's a lot of things to consider. And not only that, I worry about my kids. I got a kid who's working here. Can he take care of himself? Yes, he can. Um, I want to see him have more money in the bank. I want to see him stash, at least 500,000 baht in the bank. And he's putting money away, and he's heading towards that amount, and he's doing good things. But the other one has about a year and a half left, year of school left. And, why would I go somewhere with him still in school? I want to see him graduate. That's the thing. I want to see him graduate. I want to make sure he graduates. I want to keep a handle on it all. No, hell no. I don't want to own a home here. I don't know about Taylor Swift, and I don't give a flying fuck about Taylor Swift. You think I look like a guy who listens to fucking Taylor Swift? Where do I get my subscribers from? Where do I get all these people? I think they're supposed to be all like me. I don't know. I guess they're not. Where am I now? That all makes sense. Got to think about your kids. It's possible to live very well in Malaga with, I think, some parts of Spain are the same. I don't care. I don't give a shit about her. I'm still listening to Led Zeppelin, man. I mean, I listen to, like Ozzy and Black Sabbath. And I'm not listening to this shit now they play. Well, ZZ Top is good, but they're not my favorite. I mean, I like them, but they're not my favorites. I like the Killers. I like all kinds of groups. Ben, I mean, where do you live? Where do you live, Ben? I'm just curious. I don't remember, to be honest. Yes, I know I get shit for my jean shorts, and I don't give a fuck. Again, you live in LA. Okay, you live in LA. Have you ever lived anywhere like Thailand or Vietnam or Philippines or anywhere outside Mexico? Have you lived anywhere else? Because what I'll say is if you have not lived somewhere else, you just don't know. And you know, that's an easy way to say you need more experience. You know, really. I mean, it is what it is. I'm hoping, my own hope is that in 5 years, um, that we're both retired. But I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not sure. I would say in 5 years, I'm retired now. I don't do shit, man. I mean, I do my little YouTube videos and live stream and stuff. But like I said, I'm going down to the south. You know, I haven't been traveling much just because I didn't want to. I took a break. But before that, I mean, I've traveled all over the world, and I've traveled all over Thailand, and I'm traveling all around Thailand again. And then when I come back, I have another trip that I'm supposed to take, and then I have another trip probably to America after that. So, you know, I'm busy in that regard. I don't have to really do any. If I want, I could stop right now and sit home and watch TV all day. I don't want to do that. I need to keep busy. And Spain, to be honest, is not on my. I would rather live in Portugal than Spain. Um, Although I guess living in Spain, I do speak some Spanish. So, you know, in a couple of months, I would bone up on my Spanish and I would be speaking pretty well. And I could do it um, with reasonable proficiency. But to be honest, that's not really where I would like to go. I'd like to go somewhere like Malta, Sardinia, um, Croatia. I mean, you know, places like that. Anyway, Greece. I want to live like on a big hill overlooking the Mediterranean with crystal clear waters. That's kind of what I want. I haven't seen real estate appreciate much at all in Thailand compared to other streams. Just my 2 cents. I did think about Albania. I'm not sure about there. You know, I kind of would like to go there. Yeah, you know, the one good thing about not buying a house is that I have freedom. I have freedom. And, you know, what else can you say? I got freedom. And I'm not going to Brazil because I don't want to go to Brazil. Why? I don't want to go there. I have no desire to go to Brazil. So, you know, I know the places I want to go. Well, you know, Croatia, my mother has been there and she told me good things about it. She said a lot of good things about it. I just don't, you know, listen, it's not like I'm 25 now. I don't feel like going. I don't want to get fucked with. That's what it is. That's why I won't go to India. I'm not going to Pakistan. And you know, 10, 20 years ago, I would have went. I'm not going to go now. And I wanted to go to the Congo, and I guess I still would go, but I'd have to have the money. And I have to have the money to do it right. And I mean, like, if I was going somewhere gnarly, I want to pay for a couple of guys with machine guns, you know, that kind of thing. No, I haven't. And I had a lady, she was supposed to help me, and She didn't really help me much. She like researched my family, and I'm like, I already know all this stuff. She didn't. I wanted her to research my father, and she just didn't. So my grandfather. So whatever, it is what it is. I'll get to that, but I mean, when you're busy, which I have been rather busy lately, time flies by, and then all of a sudden you go, shit. Last night I was sitting at the computer at 10 o'clock, and I'm going, I've been sitting here since 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I had my lunch. My lunch was done at 2, and from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock, aside from getting up to take a piss, I sat at my computer doing shit. And I'm like, well, this is what happens when you get busy. My wife's like, tell me about it. That's what I am every day. Because, she'll work at her job, and they'll tell her she's got a lot of stuff to do. If she ever got everything done in one day, she'd still have plenty of work to do. So, that's how it works. And of course, I've been researching where I'm going because I don't know that much about it. Now I know a little bit more. I have all the costs figured out. I have everything. Everything's all out. And in fact, I bought a new bag. I bought a new bag the other day, and it should arrive probably maybe today, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. I don't know. But I got a new backpack. It's a little bit bigger than the one I have, so I don't have to stuff everything in there. So anyway, that's about all I have. It's 2 hours now. That's a long stream. Now, I don't know if and when I'll be streaming again. I will stream at least one time before I go away, which is in a couple of weeks. And then like I said, I'll stream from where I am. Hopefully one place I'll have some connection, some connectability, and I'll be able to live stream from there. I hope I can. I don't really know. So, we'll see. But I do have some places that I can stream from in the next couple of weeks. I know one at least. I don't use Temu, man. I just don't use it. I don't like Temu. I don't like the little spinning thing that they have on there, and I just don't like it, man. I like Shopee now, and to a lesser extent now, Lazada. Lazada's become a bit fucked up. Yes, I've said that about 20 times. I'm going to the south. And I still, if I want, I still can just go, I'm going to take off a couple more days. I think I'm going to stay gone longer. If I want, I can do that. So maybe I will. I don't know. But anyway, so those were the cheapest and costliest destinations to be an expat supposedly this year. That was from OECD. I'm going to put together something for myself that I can put out there that is what I think are the cheapest 10 places and the most expensive 10 places, although that's a bit overkill, but the cheapest places. And they're going to include places like Thailand and the Philippines and Cambodia and Vietnam and a lot of other places that are not in the OECD, because I think that's bullshit. Well, you're in the OECD, so we're going to put you in our list. So, well, Africa, oh, I go commando sometimes. It's all right. Everybody should try it. I go in my swim trunks all the time. What do you think I'm going to do? No, it's not. You may think so, but it's not. I always like to hear all these thoughts of what's the cheapest. But Cambodia is definitely not the cheapest place. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know that Laos is any cheaper. I don't really. Although I did stay in a $5 a night uh, hotel or guest house, and it was okay. I mean, it was decent. It was very clean. There was a nice bed in it. I had a window where I looked out and I could see the river, and I was okay with it. $5. I was like, I can't beat this place. Oh, I've handled the chafing. I've handled the. Listen, everybody talks about the visa. The visa's bullshit. Okay, you want to figure in the visa? The visa's $300. So how is that cheaper? I understand. Oh, well, now I don't have to worry about anything. Okay, big fucking deal. I don't worry about anything either. The price of day-to-day living is higher in Cambodia than it is in Thailand, in some places in Thailand. Depends on where you are. You can. You got to do it right, of course, just like anywhere else. I don't know how much money you need, but you can do it. You get a sponsor. There's all kinds of things you can do. Battambang was nice. It was nice. You know, two quarters Korean. You could go to Battambang, find yourself a nice little farm girl, settle down, get married. Have a little couple little bambinos, and you'd be all right. Anyway, let me see here. What else did I want to say besides? Please do me a favor and hit the like button. Um, what I'll say is, I've already told you about my book. Take a look. The link's up above and down below in the description. And like I said, it's all my time here. I've looked at everything and I put it all together in one little format. You get a little guide. And what I'm thinking, this guy doesn't have any photos. It's a lot. It's a dense book. There's a lot of text in it. But maybe next year when I do the update, I'll do more like a regular guidebook and I'll put photos in it and I'll start really making it more like a Lonely Planet or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But there's a lot of stuff in there, some good things, and it's only $10, $9.99. It's instantaneous. You get it instantly. And like I say, $10. Come on, $10. $10. Well, if you pay 11, maybe you get photos in it. I don't know. If it saves you, thousands of dollars, it's worth the money. So hit the link down below, and yeah, yeah, you don't even get a picture of me. You want a picture of me, you got to pay. You got to pay. It's an extra $5. You get a picture of me. Anyway, I guess that's all I have. So what are you gonna do? Maybe I'll get another coffee. All right. Uh, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very much. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok all day long. I'm in Bangkok for another couple of weeks, and I will talk to you all later. Oh, God. You don't want that photo. That's the thing. I got to think about it a little bit. Pay me. That's all. Sign it. I'll sign it. 29.95, baby. Oh, God. All right. I got to go. All right. Choke D, Jerkin Mai, all that good stuff. Good luck. See you again. Dule dee dee. Dule dee dee. Take care of yourself, and I will talk to you later. There we go.